During the dating process, a lot of women don't like to ask questions because they want to feel like they're okay with everything. And whatever you're doing, it's all right. It don't make no difference as long as when you're with me, you treat me well, da 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 da. And I think that might have been a little problematic for my marriage.
People swore up and down that MC Lyte's marriage had already lasted longer than expected. From the outside, the photos told a story nobody wanted to say out loud. Neither she nor her husband John White ever seemed all the way invested. To fans, it looked like two people living separate lives under the same roof. And when the divorce news hit, the internet exploded with speculation. Some pointed fingers at her sexuality, whispering that maybe she'd never been truly happy in the union. Others swore John's infidelity was a nail in the coffin. Either way, the questions never stopped swirling. Here's how it all began. For those who miss the origin story, Lyte and John didn't meet in some industry event or through celebrity connections. They met online on Match.com. What started as a digital spark turned into a real-life romance. And by August 2017, they were standing in Jamaica saying, "I do." It was a destination wedding straight out of a dream. Montego Bay as a backdrop, close friends and family surrounding them. But as we all know, sometimes a fairy tale doesn't make it past the prologue. By 2020, just 3 years later, Lyte filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. And here's where it gets even messier.
I think in the very beginning, I was very distraught. I feel like there are phases whenever a relationship is ending, whether you're married or not. So it's that first phase, like, oh my God, I got to make this work for us. Then it's like, oh my God, I got to make it work for everybody else involved.
Yeah.
Family, if there are children, people who flew all the way to wherever to see you all get married. And then you get to a point where like, you know what, this ain't working. It doesn't matter. And what really matters is that we both end up in a happy place.
Behind the polished photos and the big smiles, insiders say the cracks showed up almost immediately. After 3 years together, reports claimed they were really only living as a married couple for about 5 months before things unraveled. The timeline alone had fans raising eyebrows, wondering if the relationship had ever been solid to begin with. Lyte herself eventually opened up about the heartbreak. She admitted it wasn't easy at first. She was in a state of complete distress, barely able to process what went wrong. For her, it wasn't just about personal failure. It was about the heavy pressure that comes when your marriage is a public spectacle. Lyte explained that when a marriage starts to crumble, 2 battles kick in. The first is the private fight to make it work for yourself. The second is a way of trying to make it work for everyone else. The family, the friends, the loved ones who travel across the world to see your vows in Montego Bay. That pressure was suffocating. But over time, no matter how hard she tried to push through, Lyte was forced to face the painful truth. This marriage was destined to collapse. MC Lyte admitted that when the media first caught wind of her divorce, people thought it was already finalized. But in reality, she had just filed and was still knee-deep in the process. She opened up about how difficult those early days were, but over time, she came to a hard realization. Happiness doesn't always mean holding on. A failed marriage, she explained, doesn't equal being a failure. According to Lyte, too many people confuse love with ego, but true strength comes when you have the courage to let go. For her, the priority wasn't keep forcing a broken bond. It was to make sure both she and John White could find peace separately. But the road ending things wasn't smooth. Reports claimed John was reluctant to even sign the papers, dragging the process out for 3 years. Lyte kept most details private, but gossip started running wild. Whispers of cheating double lives, and even John's scheming on Tinder made their rounds across blogs and social media. Some went further, alleging he was plotting to drain her hard-earned money once divorce proceedings kicked off. And while Lyte refused to air every detail, she did step forward to clear her name. She wanted fans to know the truth.in 2023. She hopped on Instagram with a message for everyone speculating. She wrote that her divorce was not a battle, and John never tried to take her assets. Later, in an interview on The Breakfast Club, she doubled down on the same point. Touring, she explained, was her main source of income, the lifeline that built her career. She even shared a story about her early struggles. Buy her first house, then realizing she couldn't even afford curtains and had to hang sheets up instead. For Lyte, Money wasn't handed to her. She grinded for every single dollar. And yet, she admitted, the industry didn't always give back what she deserved. Even after selling over 1 million songs, she revealed that publishing royalties barely trickled in. Slightly, she said, but nowhere near what she should have earned. It was a harsh reminder of how ruthless the music business could be. Still, Lyte respected how today's artists are pulling back the curtain on shady deals and telling the truth about what really happens behind the contracts. For her, transparency was powerful and necessary to good news. Lyte made sure her empire was protected. Thanks to a prenuptial agreement, she kept her entire music catalog, all of her royalties, and her personal belongings. She emphasized that John never once tried to take anything from her. "It wasn't that I got to keep everything," she said. "He was never trying to take it in the first place." They agreed early on to lock things in with a prenup, and that decision saved her from the financial nightmares many celebs face. But of course, as she put it, the internet doesn't care about facts. People will twist anything for clicks. Still, rumors refuse to die. Blogs and fans claimed John was living a second life, creeping around behind Lyte's back. But for some, the bigger shock wasn't his behavior. It was the fact that Lyte married a man at all. For decades, speculation has swirled around her sexuality, with whispers that she was at least bisexual, if not secretly involved with another rap legend, Queen Latifah. Their bond has always been undeniable. Lyte herself has described Latifah as her sister, her queen, and the woman who reshaped how female MCs were seen by the industry and the public. In an interview with Essence, Lyte broke down just how deep that connection ran. From the moment they met, she said, they were inseparable. Latifah carried a vibrancy and freedom that was impossible to ignore, something Lyte credited to Latifah's late mother, who gave her the wings to fly. Their relationship, Lyte stressed, was built on honesty and trust, so solid they could talk about anything without fear of being misunderstood. But no matter how many times Lyte painted their bond as sisterhood, the rumors of intimacy have followed them for years. For decades, Queen Latifah's on-screen roles have sparked endless curiosity about her sexuality. One of the most talked-about examples was her breakout role in Set It Off, where she played a tough, unapologetic lesbian bank robber. She embodied the part so convincingly that audiences began to wonder if her real-life persona mirrored the character. The more masculine roles she chose, the louder the whispers grew. Fans speculated that maybe her acting was too authentic to just be acting, and that theory quickly tied her name to one person in particular, MC Lyte. But in those early days of her career, Latifah never entertained the chatter. She ignored questions, never confirming or denying, which only fueled the fire that something deeper might have been happening between her and Lyte. Eventually, the rumors were so widespread that interviewers began asking the two women directly. And in a 2024 Breakfast Club sit-down, Lyte finally addressed it. She spoke candidly about the bond they shared, describing their friendship as built on openness and trust. According to Lyte, they had each other's backs and were intentional about avoiding miscommunication. Now, of course, Charlemagne and the crew pressed about the dating rumors. Lyte didn't dodge. She flat out denied them, calling the speculation never right. She admitted that at first, she was bothered by the constant assumptions about her sexuality. Over time, though, she learned to shake it off. Her mindset became, "Okay, that's how you want to see me? Fine, but I am more than that." Lyte explained that while she's had life experiences like anyone else, it was unfair for people to slap labels on her or box her into their own narratives. She pointed out something deeper, too. The music industry has always forced young artists into molds that don't reflect who they really are. Back then, if you looked a certain way or carried yourself a certain way, people would question your identity, your femininity, and even your preferences. For Lyte, the idea that she couldn't look powerful and still be attracted to men was insulting. She revealed that in truth, she's far more traditional than people assume. Marriage and partnership, she stressed, have always been sacred to her. That's why her divorce felt so devastating. It shattered a belief she held close. And while her name has been tied to Queen Latifah for years, it's not the only rumor that's followed her. Blogs have also speculated about an intimate connection between Lyte and Jada Pinkett Smith. But as of her last public updates, Lyte has actually been happily involved with someone completely outside the industry, Aaron Johnson, a tech executive she hard-launched back in early 2023. Insiders say Lyte believes she attracted him by leveling up and becoming the best version of herself. To her, Aaron is more than a partner. He's a mirror of her growth, and Lyte hasn't shied away from admitting she's in love. But don't start saving the date just yet. Lyte has been clear. Both she and Aaron have been married and divorced before, so they're not rushing into another walk down the aisle. Still, she teased that marriage is definitely on the table. It's just not something they're sprinting toward this time. According to Lyte, her family was shocked when they met him. They described Aaron as a ray of sunshine, a total opposite from her usual type. She confessed it took some adjusting, but she's grown to appreciate the softer, calmer side of life that he brings into her world. For Lyte, the love is mutual. She said openly that everything feels balanced and good on the inside. But here's where things get messy. Recently, fans noticed she deleted several photos of the two from her Instagram. That small move sparked a wildfire of speculation that the couple might be on the rocks, or even broken up. Add in the fact that critics online keep telling Lyte to just be herself, and the whole situation has gotten murkier. And at this point, it's hard to tell who was living a double life, her ex-husband or maybe Lyte herself. What do you think, fam? Is this just the internet overanalyzing every move? Or is there more to Lyte's love life than she's letting on? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.